about the financial aid. They can go ahead and introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves. You can tell them about where you're from, what school you went to, what degree you got. So sometimes it's important for our students to kind of know where our staff members, where they went and stuff like that. Yeah. So they're going to talk to you about the financial aid process and then also the student loans.
My name is Micala Epperson. I'm the customer service coordinator for financial aid, which means basically that I kind of help the advisors, help you guys kind of oversee that and then help out anywhere I can. Come talk to you guys about financial aid. I started out initially at SBC, and I started out doing work study, which is where you work on campus. It's a part of your financial aid. So that's how I started, and I would also work part-time in the summers while I went to LCU after I graduated from SBC, and then a full-time position opened up after I came back here, and so that's what I came on as. I graduated from LCU during COVID, so initially I was going to do art education, but I kind of veered away from that because of everything going on with COVID and how the teaching system was going. My sister was a first-year teacher during that, and she kind of scared me off of it. But a full-time position came open here at the financial aid office, where I've been doing work study and then doing some, helping out in the summers. And so it was just like the right opportunity at the right time. So if you're able to do work study, I think it's a great way to try to have a backup plan, because you never know what's going to happen. It's good to have, your options open, kind of helps build, your network of people that that can help you, get other positions, other jobs, and help you with your career. So that's me.
My name is Scott Alford. I'm the financial aid loan coordinator. So I take care of all the loans students get through financial aid. I graduated from Littlefield High School and long before y'all were born. And then graduated from Wayland with a Master of Arts in Theater. So putting that to great use. Anyway. And I worked in the bookstore here for 6 years, and then Susan Nasworth, the director of financial aid, she had my position before, got promoted, and I had gone to school with Susan and her husband Dan, who's the theater professor. So we knew each other. And talking, she thought I might be a good fit in the financial aid office. So I interviewed and got the job. Been there for 10 years now. So again, like Micala said, networking can pay off.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes, is
it's a big way to get your foot in the door a lot of times.
So again, networking is important, getting to know
people. Yep. And trying different things, trying something new. I heard about the work study position at financial aid through one of my classes here at SBC. So teacher let us know. So, but definitely if you're interested or you think you'd be interested, come talk to us about that. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah. And work study, if you qualify, it's not just financial aid, it's across all campus.
Yeah.
Bookstore, it's here at the library.
Yeah, all different positions. That is done when you fill out the FAFSA, so you have to fill out the FAFSA to qualify for that. So hopefully all of you have filled out the FAFSA already for 24-25 for this fall. It covers the whole school year, so it goes from the fall through the summer. So the one for this year that hopefully you've already done will go through the spring and summer of this year. And then the new one, which opens up on December 1st, will start for the fall. This next upcoming fall, not the current one, the next one for next year. So, but it will open December 1st, so you can go ahead and get a jump on it early. is what I recommend. A lot of it's going to be similar to the one that they just, did everything kind of brand new, changed it up a bit. So if you've been in there, done one already, you've kind of seen the changes already. It's a lot quicker to do than previous years. They're trying to keep it pretty much the same as this past year. Right now, they're not opening it fully yet, which they normally do October 1st, because they're kind of testing out some of the issues that they had when they first opened up this new one that they opened up. Because there have been some problems for some people filling it out, signing it, if their parents don't have socials, some issues with that, verifying, their identity, issues with that. So hopefully we're hoping that they'll try to get some of that resolved with this testing that they're doing. But you would do it, you go fill it out, studentaid.gov, the flyers I handed out gives you what you need to fill it out, where you go to fill it out. On the back of that page, it'll give you like the next steps after you fill out the FAFSA. So if you're wondering, okay, I filled out my FAFSA, what do I do now? That kind of gives you what the next steps are. So hopefully, usually once you're able to get in there, we'll start processing those for this next year, hopefully around March. And then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully March we'll start processing them. So if you fill it out in December, it may be a little bit before you hear something back, because we have to wait till we can start processing those. And then usually once we're in normal processing, it takes about 3 to 5 business days for us to receive your FAFSA. And then have y'all been on your Texting Connect, been able to access that on your through your MySPC? So once you get in there, there's a financial aid homepage. It gives you a checklist of everything that, if we've received your FAFSA, if there's stuff that's missing, what's next kind of thing. And then also there's different kinds of financial aid, like I was talking about, that you would receive through the FAFSA. So there's different grants that are federal, and there's different state grants as well. So the federal grant is the main Pell Grant, which everyone kind of confuses with the FAFSA itself. But the FAFSA is just application for the aid, whereas the Pell Grant is something that if you have need, then based on your income that you provide on the FAFSA, that information, then we would go through and process that to see what your eligibility is for a Pell Grant or anything like that. Now, state grants are different. There's different kinds of state grants. There's a federal supplemental education opportunity grant. That's a federal grant. That's need-based, that goes along with the Pell Grant. And then there's the TPEG, the Texas Public Educational Opportunity Grant. And then, or just the Texas Public Education Grant, and then Texas Educational Opportunity Grant. So there's 2 different kinds of state grants that you'll see. The TPEG, you'll know if you get awarded that, it's a need-based and it's kind of an automatic thing. Versus the TEOG, it's also need-based, but you would receive on your checklist, if you're eligible for it, you would receive the application for it there to apply for that grant specifically. And that one is a first come, first served kind of grant. So it's not guaranteed, but go ahead, if you see that there, go ahead and fill it out. It doesn't hurt anything to fill it out. If you have Pell Grant, it's not going to prevent your Pell Grant from going through or anything like that, but it's just another opportunity for aid, additional aid. And then work study, another opportunity for additional aid. It's need-based as well. You come see us. We can calculate if you're eligible or not, how many hours. The maximum you could qualify for work study is 19 hours a week, and it is $8.50 an hour. So if you're interested, definitely come see us about that. And then scholarships, Shaylin will come and talk to you guys about that. It's separate from our office, but if you have any questions, Shaylin should hopefully be able to answer that. But some scholarships do require you to fill out the FAFSA, so it's a good idea. Even if you're not interested in any other kind of aid, just scholarships, go ahead and fill out the FAFSA. And then, so we talked about the checklist of missing documents. You'll see on there, you might see what we call a state aid certification form. that form is required for all state grants. Okay, so if we had any additional state aid to give you guys, you would need to fill that out. Okay, again, it has nothing to do with your federal aid from the FAFSA, like the Pell Grant or loans or anything like that. But it is, if you would like additional aid for us to help you out, that is necessary for us to get. And then so definitely go ahead and fill that out. It doesn't take very long at all. If you're female, just answer your female on there. If you're male, it doesn't take long to figure out if you're registered with the Selective Service or not. You can go to sss.gov and easily check that. And then also on the checklist, it has your offer letter. So I don't know if any of y'all have been on there to look at it, but in the offer letter, it's not a bill, but it does give you what your budget is so we can see what your need is. So the budget would be indirect costs and direct costs. So the indirect costs would be anything that you would accumulate, any costs you would have while you're going to school, like clothing, gas, food, that kind of stuff. So it's not stuff that you're directly paying the college, but we use it to create your budget to see what aid we can give you guys. And then it also has a summary of what your awards there are on your offer letter, so you can see your awards and how they get applied. So with the Pell Grant, it is based on your enrollment for each term that you're going. So it's based on full time. Anything less than full time, it's going to adjust according to what your actual enrollment is for each term. So when you're accepting it or declining it, you want to be sure, like, oh, let's say I'm not going to summer. Well, that summer aid is not just going to go towards the fall and the spring for the Pell Grant, because you have to be enrolled to be able to earn any of that aid for the summer or the spring or the fall. So it's very specific to your enrollment for each term. And then, let's see. So yeah, and also a good thing to do is to go and check your bill routinely, because you don't want to have any kind of surprises when it comes to owing a balance or anything. So if you guys drop classes after the census date, which is usually the 12th class date, then it could affect, if you're going to owe money back or not, because you earn, even the Pell Grant, you earn that aid as you complete your courses. So making changes, and like you said, because it's based on your enrollment, it could affect, your bill. So, and what you might owe the school. So it's always important to go check that, make sure everything's covered. If you have any questions about what it looks like, because it can look confusing if you're in more than one term, like first 8 weeks, second 8 weeks, the full 8-week, 16-week term. It can be confusing on how the bill looks. So if you have any questions about any of it, or any of it looks confusing, come see us, call us, message us. Another really important thing to check on your checklist is your SAP status. So another thing with adding and dropping classes, it can affect your financial aid eligibility as far as SAP goes. You have to complete at least a 2.0 cumulative GPA, and you have to complete at least 67% PACE, which means that you have to complete at least 67% of the classes you sign up to take overall. So anytime you're adding or dropping classes, it's going to affect your PACE. Dropping won't affect your GPA necessarily, but it does affect that PACE. And then, so the last thing is that you can't exceed more than 150% of the total credit hours allowed for your major. So if you are in an associate's degree program, then it only takes 60 credits to graduate. We give you 90 credits to still remain eligible with financial aid. But if you exceed that 90 credits, then you would be what we call placed on a warning first. We never take away your financial aid automatically. We put you on a warning first, and then we put you on suspension. So we give you a semester for the warning to bring that back up. Now, if it's for the hours, more than likely you would just exceed that, and then you would do the what we call an appeal for the max time frame. So if you change your major or anything like that, our system doesn't really take into account the hours for that specific major. It counts all the hours that you've ever taken, college credit hours. So you want to be sure, like, if you fall into that, you can do an appeal for that to get your financial aid eligibility back if you're needing to change your major or you change your mind or something that happens all the time. And then last thing. So yeah, definitely check all of that. Check your SBC email. It's super important to check your SBC email. We let you know if we received your FAFSA, if you get selected verification, if we need additional information for you, why your aid's not processing, if you owe a balance. It's very important that you continually check that and have access to that, as well as your text and connect. That's two of the main things that I would say would help you out the most as far as keeping up to date with your financial aid and your bill and all of that stuff. Do y'all have any questions for me before I pass it on to Scott? I went over a lot of stuff. Does any of that make sense to you guys? Are y'all familiar with a lot of that stuff that I was talking about?
What I know you were speaking about extra stuff to sign up for financial aid. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, so you're talking about the state aid stuff. So there's a TOG application that if you get in your checklist, you'll receive it if you're eligible. So if you meet the eligibility requirements, we give you a link to that application to fill out. For this year right now, we've already used those funds, so we don't have any. But for next year, if you get that application, go ahead and fill it out because it is a first come, first serve thing. But definitely go ahead and fill that out if you see it on your checklist. And then the state aid certification form, if we have any additional state aid to give you, we have to have that form. It's a requirement for state aid. So definitely fill that form out as well. If it's not on your checklist, you can come by and talk to us about it, and we'll see if if you're eligible, we'll give it to you to fill out. Okay, we have it you can email us to ask us about it as well at any time that we're open here. Anyone else? Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question? No?
Okay. All right. Talk about loans. Grants are money that you do not have to pay back. They say it's free money, but somebody's paying for it. But anyway.
Yeah, you have to earn it. Like I was saying, like you earn that by attending your classes.
Yeah.
Very important.
But again, grants are money that's given to you for your education. You do not have to pay that back. Loans, you do have to pay back. A lot of schools go ahead and award loans as part of the financial aid package. We do not do that. The vast majority of South Plains College students can finance their education here through grants, scholarships, self-pay. And so we do not want you to go, we do not want to put you in debt unless you tell us that you need those. So unlike most schools at South Plains, you actually have to request a loan. And that's part of the financial aid page on Text and Connect. So drop down list at the top of the page, and one of those is request a new loan. So you click on that, and it takes you through the steps. In addition to that, if you get a federal loan, you do have to, at studentaid.gov, you sign in there with your FSA ID. You do have to do entrance counseling. That goes over your rights and responsibilities as a borrower. And then you also have to, at studentaid.gov, sign a master promissory note, which is your promise to pay the money back. So those are the three main steps of getting a loan here at South Plains. There are multiple types of loans. Again, the only federal loans that we do are the William D. Ford direct loans. And with those, as a freshman, if you're a dependent freshman, you can get up to $5,500 in direct loans for the academic year, fall, spring, summer. If Your FAFSA as shows need, you can get up to 3,500 of that 5,500 as subsidized. Subsidized means that you do not accrue interest on those loans as long as you're in school. The government pays the interest for you for that part of the loan. Then the rest is unsubsidized. Unsubsidized loans do begin accruing interest the day that it's dispersed from the Department of Education to your SPC business office account, and continues accruing interest until you pay that off. For a dependent sophomore, you get up to another $1,000 of loan eligibility. So you can have to have up to 4,500 is subsidized, and then the rest is unsubsidized. If you're an independent, to be independent, basically, there are some exceptions, but generally, if you have to be at least 24 years old, or married, or have a dependent child that you support at least 51%. If you need any of those, then you're considered an independent student, and you can get up to 9,500 as a freshman. Again, 3,500 of that can be subsidized. As a sophomore, you can get up to 10,500, and up to 4,500 of that can be subsidized. Again, that depends on your FAFSA whether or not you qualify for the subsidized. Again, those loans do cover fall, spring, summer. When you do the loan request, when you submit a new loan request on Text Connect, it defaults to splitting your loans between fall, spring, and summer. If you know you're not going to come summer, uncheck the summer. And so we just split your loans between fall, spring. Or if you're in your last semester and you're not going to need spring or summer, uncheck those. So again,
Yeah, it's unlike the Pell Grant. So
yeah, the Pell Grant is done per semester.
Yeah.
The loans are done per academic year. Very different. Also, to qualify for a disbursement in a semester, you have to be attending at least 6 eligible credit hours to be eligible for a disbursement for a semester. So if you start signing up for 6 hours and you drop a class before the census date of the semester, then you're not going to qualify for the loan. As long as you stay in 6 hours, you should be good. Let's see. Interest rate right now, I believe, is 5.67%. Forgot to bring that with me.
it changes every
Yeah,
year.
it changes every year. It's based on the Federal Reserve prime rate.
Yeah, if you want to know the current ones, you can go to the studentaid.gov website and it'll have the current interest rates there.
If you are a dependent student, and you need more than that 5,500 or 6,500, your parents can apply for a Parent Plus loan. That is available for dependent students if their parents want it. To do that, the parents sign in to studentaid.gov with their FSA ID, not the students, but the parents. And there's a section there for parents, and they can apply for a Parent Plus loan. The student loans do not undergo a credit check or anything. If you qualify for it under the FAFSA, you get it. You ask for it, you get it. The Parent Plus loans do undergo a credit check. If the parents pass the credit check, then we go ahead and we're notified by the department the day after parents complete the application. And then they also have to fill out a master promissory note. Once we get that notification, I contact the parents. I start an email communication with them, letting them know we have the application, letting them know when the loan is awarded, and they have to reply and accept the loan. It's one other thing on the student loans. We award it. You get an email at your SPC email address saying you've been awarded a loan. Then you have to go into Text Connect. You have to accept that loan. It's a government regulation that you have to actively accept any loan that you get. And then again, sign the offer letter. But again, the parents, I communicate with them via email. Let them know it's been awarded. They reply that they accept the loan. Then we can apply it to your account. Interest rate on that is a little over 9%. It's more. Also, if the parents' application is denied because of adverse credit history, they do have a couple of options. If there are extenuating circumstances, they can appeal that. And if the appeal is approved, then we just go ahead and award it. If they can also get an endorser or co-signer to co-sign that Parent Plus loan. And then the co-signer has to go in and do their part and sign their master promissory note. If the parent applies for Parent Plus loan and the loan is denied, their loan is denied, then we can award the student at the independent level. And instead of 5,500 for the freshman, we can award up to 9,500 for the freshman if the Parent Plus loan is denied. Same thing for sophomore, 10,500 instead of 6,500. Let's see. That's basically it in a nutshell. We are available to you if you have any questions about anything we've talked about today.
Yeah.
Our office is in the Student Services Building. We're in that same little atrium with the admissions and records office or enrollment services
Right across
office.
from the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, right across the Dairy Queen's that building. Also, the Advising and Testing Center is right there with us. We're all there together. So feel free to come by. Again, our email is finaid, short for financial aid, FINAID, at southplainscollege.edu.
And it should be on the flyer
Yeah.
that I gave you
And the
guys.
phone number, I think, is on there too.
Yep.
We're here to help.
And especially if you guys, like, it can be confusing and nerve-wracking with, we're not scary, so come
No, I'm a little scary, but I try not to.
come by and see us. We won't bite you. We're here to help you guys any way we can. It's really one of the biggest things of why I started or wanted this job was just to be able to help you guys get started and be on your way.
Any questions?
I have one. When you get a loan, when do you exactly have to start paying it off?
6 months after you leave school.
Oh.
As soon as the loan is dispersed, it's assigned to a loan servicer. And then within a couple of weeks after the loan's dispersed, the loan servicer contacts you via whatever email address you put on the FAFSA. And then they keep contact with you.
You can also check it on the studentaid.gov
Yeah.
website. It'll give you a dashboard. On the dashboard, it'll have your loans history there. And if you detail in it, it'll give you your servicer and their contact information and repayment options on there as well.
Yeah, there are several repayment options. The standard is you pay equal amounts for 10 years. But there are several options.
Yeah.
Based on income.
And it will go in detail.
Yeah, based on income or other factors.
Yeah.
But again, they'll work with you because again, they do want to get paid.
It's the most important thing to just stay in contact with them.
Stay in contact. Don't ignore them because they'll affect your credit history, and we don't want that to happen. Any other questions?
And that is 6 months after you're done with all of your schools. So if
Right.
you transfer to university, that
Yeah.
kind of follows you there.
Yeah, so you can, if you fall into the period of it's almost 6 months or you're past that 6 months, you start back school, you would get proof of enrollment from the school that you're attending and provide that to your loan servicer to get your loan payments deferred. Yeah, bonds, basically.
And it begins growing interest like after like the 6 months after.
The subsidized starts 6 months after.
Yeah, because the government pays the subsidized loans interest while you're attending school, the unsubsidized.
And so, the unsubsidized again, the day the department gives it to us,
It will
it
accumulate.
starts accumulating interest and keeps on until it's paid off.
Yep.
Right? Any other questions? Good questions.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No more questions? Those are really good questions. Well, thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
coming by and presenting. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to them. You know where they're at.
If you have any trouble with the FAFSA, get stuck because it is confusing with the new one. So
Thank you very much. And if y'all want to grab something to eat, please take some or some food. We have food for you. If you're here, go ahead and fill out your survey. Also, we're going to do a drawing for
is it open?
Yes.
For the new FAFSA.